This is the best that T-Mobile and OnePlus has to offer at the end of 2019. This is the OnePlus 7T Pro McLaren Edition with 5G in the US. Sabah everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to recap for you guys my last 2 weeks of using the OnePlus 7T Pro on T-Mobile with 5G, specifically the McLaren Edition. This is by far the best that T-Mobile and OnePlus has to offer as far as connectivity for the price point. They have two devices that support 5G. There's the Note 10 Plus that runs at about $1,300 with 5G built in, and of course this guy at $899. It's the best that OnePlus has to offer by far at the end of 2019, providing us a glimpse into 2020 with how the X55 is going to perform with the brand new Snapdragon 865. This is TK, and this is the OnePlus 7T Pro McLaren Edition on T-Mobile. Let's check them out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified whenever we put out new videos on the channel. What makes a McLaren Edition a unique version of a device from OnePlus? First and foremost, this features the speed, the best, the fastest, everything that they can offer for that year that this device came up. Now last year with the 60 from McLaren, they did the exact same thing. They introduced the faster charging on it, as well as giving us the best that the 845 has to offer. This year, this shares a lot of its unique features with the 7T Pro that came out roughly about the same time. We have an accented color here that makes it unique. We have the same triple camera setup back there, the 48, the wide angle lens and the telephoto lens, so the 16 and the 8, as well as the 16 megapixel front facing camera. As far as what makes this so unique is that this one carries 12 gigs of RAM, as well as that it also has 256 gigs of internal storage with a slightly bigger battery to accommodate the 5G, and that's at 4085 milliamps. In the US, this will carry the X55 modem, which is the same modem that's going to be working with the 865 coming up in 2020 with new devices, let's say the OnePlus 8, the OnePlus 8 Pro, depending on whatever OnePlus decides to launch. Speaking of that, OnePlus will have an event at CES in about a couple of weeks talking about a new device or some type of new product that they're going to be releasing, and I'll definitely be giving you guys a video recapping that event as soon as it happens in Las Vegas. But that's basically it. That's what makes this device special. It has more RAM, it runs the fastest version of this processor in this year, and it also has a large amount of internal storage. But not only that, the fastest modem to give us 5G on T-Mobile in the US. Now they're very nice, and they also do provide us a case that comes in the box, which I really like. And of course, this also will work very good with the device to protect it, but still give you access to see some of those coloring here. The camera does come through and it works great. The display on this device is absolutely fantastic. I love this ever since the beginning of the year with the 7 Pro and the 7T Pro. This one just offers us a great 6.67 QHD 90Hz refresh rate display that has curved edges on the side that just screams consumption of content and basically just displays really good, very nice colors. And of course, it's an OLED panel, which enables us to basically take a benefit of using a darker theme on this device. It also doesn't have either a notch or a punch hole camera because the camera that we have here is a pop-up camera that works for front face unlock, as well as the fact that it has a pretty good actually selfie mode. They have done a lot of improvements on here ever since the 7 Pro from the beginning of the year with Android 10.0. We can now use all 3 lenses when we're doing video as far as wide angle, telephoto, or standard focal length, as well as the ability to basically enjoy content on here with Dolby, as well as the stereo speakers with the top earpiece and the bottom firing speaker. We don't have a headphone jack. Sadly, that's something that you have to kind of, obviously, we've gotten used to this ever since the beginning of the year. But what we are getting now essentially is the best at what they have to offer us as far as speeds. What I mean by speed is this device obviously offers us the 855 Plus, 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of internal storage with UFS 3.0. Those things are giving us the best speed internally to this device, as well as the Warp Charge 30T to charge this device from 0 to 100% in a little over an hour, which is a lot faster than we've had in the past. But I'm also talking about the 5G connectivity with that X55 modem that we have in here. T-Mobile rolled it out, and they rolled it out in the sub 600 megahertz experience, which is not as fast as millimeter wave, but works great on long distances when you're traveling, and it also gives you more of a consistent experience as opposed to having the necessity of being in direct line of sight of the tower to get those really ridiculous fast speeds that we get with millimeter wave in the current state. It may change in the future, but currently at least that's how it is. When we're talking about speed, we're talking about the fact that this device offers us the best as far as speed from an internal specifications standpoint. 855 Plus, 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of internal storage with UFS 3.0 will offer us the fastest implementation of Android that we're able to get on a device running the latest version of Android. But I'm also focusing mostly on the 5G function, why I chose this device over an unlocked model directly from OnePlus. And what that means for us essentially is that this offers us the X55 modem that will give us 5G connectivity on T-Mobile that uses right now the sub 600 version of 5G in the US. So the low band, not the mid band, or even the millimeter wave technology that we can see, let's say, with Verizon on different, in different areas with different devices, as this device doesn't actually work on Verizon with 5G. Now, what this will give us essentially in LA, as far as my experience for the last couple of weeks, is a mixed experience. Most of my time I've had 5G on my network notification here telling me that I'm connected to 5G, but when I run speed test, you'll notice that quite a few of those say LTE when I'm running here with the speed test application. Now, what essentially that means is that we're going to be getting LTE speeds, but slightly better LTE speeds in different times. I was able to get 103, 105, even 60, 62, 61, depending on where you are, even 67. You'll notice right here, connection speed, there's no question I'm able to get fast connections here with this device. Arguably, I could have technically gotten some of these speeds as well with 4G LTE. There's no question that 4G can get up to 150, 160 megabits down. While I was in Maui, I was able to get that with a Note 10 Plus running on T-Mobile when they first turned on the 5G network there. And of course, it just depends, again, how far you are from the tower, how much of basically congestion there is in the network. All of those things will play a factor. This device will not disappoint. If you're on T-Mobile, you're looking for a new device to get, and you want to get that 5G connectivity, specifically if you want 5G, this is going to be a really good experience for you guys. And of course, the fact that it has a big battery that charges really fast with the Warp Charge 30T will always make sure that you're topped off. My experience with this device is that speeds have been generally slightly faster than what we get with LTE, but I also have to say that running the X55 modem has also kind of put a tax on the battery, because 5G on this modem, being that it is the first time we're getting it on a OnePlus device, needs a little bit of optimization, and I feel like the software needs a little bit more work. Now, the battery life on here has been a little bit of a mixed bag. Initially, when I first got the device and I started setting up my account, the battery was actually pretty bad. I was having to charge the device middle of the day, and of course, the experience was basically still being fine-tuned. I was installing more apps, adding accounts, and of course, I didn't give it a few days or enough time for it to basically start optimizing itself. I did have to do one thing though on my end. I did end up having to reduce the resolution on the display from QHD to Full HD running at 90 Hertz to kind of get that balance so that I'm able to get basically a full day without having to basically put the device back on the charge. I use my device for many things, namely to enjoy obviously content, but I also use it to manage my accounts, my YouTube channel, responding to social media account, as well as also managing emails and so on, and getting ready for big events, namely the CES event that's going to be coming up in about a week or so. So this device needs to be able to handle all of those things and then some, of course, with Android Auto in the car, and of course other things as far as gaming, watching movies, all the things that we normally do. And for me, this has basically been a champ. There's no question that I'm able to run many things on it. Of course, my banking applications, Android Pay works on this quite nicely. RCS on T-Mobile works really nice. And as you can see here, it works great on T-Mobile, providing us all of the benefits of RCS. This device will not disappoint. I've been using this directly in my car with Android Auto. I'm managing 3 YouTube channels, downloading, uploading 3 to 4 gigabyte files, video files to manage the YouTube side, and of course posting videos to YouTube. All of these things have been done directly out of this device, and there is no question that the X55 with the 855 Plus will work very nicely together. Using the basically the 12 gigs of RAM with the fast internal storage, the 256 gigs of internal storage will make it so that you're never going to be feeling any kind of slow experience. OnePlus has perfected the way of basically giving us an Android experience at a very, I would say, almost minimalistic experience, but very fast, and of course consistently fast. My hope is that the updates will start pushing out to this device more frequently than we've seen in the past. Carrier devices will always have that experience of having to go through the carrier. Nothing's wrong with T-Mobile, it's just that it slows the process down. Currently, Samsung's the only one that's pushing out updates faster than any other device on any T-Mobile connection that I've had in the past. And what I mean by this is, of all the devices I've received or have used on T-Mobile, Samsung's the only one that offers almost consistent monthly security patch updates. OnePlus devices and let's say LG devices are a little bit slow, if any, with LG, but that's just an LG story for a different video. Playing games, we of course have access to gaming mode as well as fanatic mode, which gives us even more control over the ability of turning off notifications or anything that will distract, or even having any applications run in the background to drain, let's say, even power or resources away from the main game that we're playing here. We of course have reading mode. I'll go ahead and keep screencast right there. We have Zen mode as well as screen recording, which we've seen before, and of course Wi-Fi calling working directly on T-Mobile perfectly. So all of these things are going to give us the best experience, and of course optimized experience for playing games, let's say PUBG, Fortnite, or any other, Call of Duty Mobile. All of those things will run just really, really nice. The cameras that we have here are actually pretty decent. They're not the best that we can get on the market right now, but as far as it comes to OnePlus, we've had a good experience. I went with my son to Magic Mountain not that long ago, and we took some pictures there, and it just looks really, really nice. You can see the detail, the bokeh effect, the focusing level. It just looks really, really good. When it comes to using multiple lenses on this device during video, OnePlus has definitely stepped up their game with the Android 10.0 upgrade. You notice right there, I'm running the same thing. I went ahead and jumped over to the telephoto lens just to capture the roller coaster just right about before that big drop that they're going here. This is Goliath here in Magic Mountain. That is pretty close to us, and it was, as you can see right there, a little bit windy. It just gives us the ability of enjoying content and creating content with this device. So the cameras will provide us a decent experience, not the best, but will provide us pretty decent experience for content creation between video, 4K 60 frames per second on the back sensor, as well as the ability of being able to take some great selfies using this camera. And you can see right there, it's a quick example of how it looks like. I took this picture right here in our mall with the family just to post it for social media. It looks really nice. And again, the experience here is not going to disappoint. So what does this mean? Should we get the OnePlus 7T Pro Mclaren Edition now, or should we wait for 2020 and see what other devices have to offer? There's no question that 2020 will offer us better, faster devices with the 865. We'll also see obviously more optimizations, new things coming out with Android 11. But at the end of 2019, if you get this device, this has a lot of future-proofing built into it. Namely, the 5G connectivity with the X55 that can support all the way up to the millimeter wave technology for 5G, as well as the mid-band and the low band. Currently not using the full potential, but it is in here. You are running the best Snapdragon 855 Plus, 12 gigs of RAM, more than any other device on the market right now, or even probably in 2020. We're also running 256 gigs of internal storage with UFS 3.0. And of course, with the front-facing display running at a QHD resolution 90 Hz, this definitely is going to be a great media consumption, great stereo speakers, great audio, great processing. All of those things are just basically screaming the best experience you can get from OnePlus. I do hope that T-Mobile and OnePlus will be able to start pushing out updates to this device more frequently, giving us new features, new optimizations, and of course Android 11 once that comes out next year, as of course you know, OnePlus is always known for providing us support as well as updates to new versions of Android as they come out. If you're considering getting a brand new device at the end of 2019 and you want 5G, definitely give this guy a try. I think OnePlus definitely has a winner here. I'm hoping at some point or another we'll start being able to basically buy it directly from them and get the dual SIM model. This is still running a single SIM on T-Mobile, so that I feel like is a little bit of a limitation as we lose that additional feature that we've come to get, well, basically we've gotten used to from OnePlus. Dual SIM unlocked experience always. And when I am able to, I will definitely be able to unlock it, and of course hopefully see if there's any development done to provide us new features or even new optimizations, maybe to help the battery life with maybe a custom kernel for the OnePlus 7T Pro Mclaren Edition. Thank you very much for the support. Like and subscribe as usual, and of course I'll see you guys in the next year and in the next video.